Hello and welcome to the Drummergy podcast, episode 183. Wow.
100 and what the heck took so long to get started?
Oh, yeah. Well, sorry, we're running a little late this morning. I had all this stuff set up and ready to go, and then I lost my video. I had no video, and so I had to reboot and re-upload all my pictures that I want to share. So, when you're about to go live, it's a little bit frustrating when stuff isn't going correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But here we are, and so far so good.
Yeah.
But episode 183, today's topic, Miss Producer, is going to be about drummer ergonomics. Do you know what that word ergonomics means?
What was I trying to say yesterday?
Who?
I was saying...
You said something weird.
I know. I don't even know what it was.
But it was...
I was trying to say ergonomics, but I couldn't remember the word. And it was I think I was saying aerogenomics or aerogenology or something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure the word doesn't exist.
It does now. It does now. It is a new word created by the producer. Aerogenomics.
And then when you said ergonomics, I'm like, no, that's not it.
Yeah.
Sounds too simple.
You're making me cough on air. Yeah, so we're going to talk about drummer ergonomics, the relationship of the drummer to the drums, because I think it's a good thing to talk about, especially after talking about hitting hard last week.
You're welcome.
By the way, as our regular viewers know, the producer was gone last week, and I was sitting here all by myself like I used to in the old days. And I almost felt like I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't have my producer with me.
I was sound asleep.
Yes.
I was so confused because, usually we go up to Cascade on a Friday.
You gotta be kidding me.
Usually we go up to Cascade and come back on a Sunday, but instead I went up on a Sunday and came back on a Wednesday. So I didn't even know what day it was. So
and then the rest of the week was confusing.
I didn't even think about getting up to listen because I probably thought it was Saturday.
That's okay. You caught the replay though, right? Oh man!
Can you turn the volume up for me a bit?
I don't know how.
Oh,
your
my headphone volume.
Well, I can keep trying. How about that?
Hello. That's a little better.
Will you start talking quieter as I turn it up?
I needed you louder. That's the problem.
Okay. Well, loud and proud. Here we go. Here we go. So, oh man, I haven't got my pipes cleared out yet for speaking. I just feel a little discombobulated today.
Wow.
I don't know why. Maybe because more drink. So the Drummergy podcast is sponsored by 12th Fret Music, our favorite.
That's right.
Music store down at 671 South Capitol Boulevard. And if you're confused on what it looks like, here it is right here. Boom.
Capitol Boulevard. We're on Capitol. Oh, it's right next to FedEx in that little building right there, which is also across from the library.
And across from the park.
And across Capitol from the park.
But the cool thing is, once you walk through the entrance of this fine music store, you will see the world's largest guitar amp.
Yeah. And don't be deceived by the size of that little space that you see there. The store is much larger than it looks from the outside.
Yeah, it's huge.
It goes way back and over to the right.
Huge. And they have just this they have the Pacific Northwest's largest collection of new, used, and vintage guitars, basses, and amps. And somehow Mr. Rob Ridgway found space to stock Vader drumsticks and Aquarian drum heads.
He did.
Which is really, really cool.
Oh.
And, excuse me,
Bro.
Our normal discussion about 12th fret music revolves around this guitar, this blue Jazzmaster guitar. Because are you a jazz master, Mrs. Producer?
No, I don't play jazz at all. But look how pretty she is.
It is a pretty guitar. It is.
And the way for me, it's about looks first and then sound.
That's
it has to sound good. It has to sound good. But I'm drawn to the look of a guitar first.
Yeah. Well, that's gonna tie in nicely with today's discussion on drummer ergonomics, because you said that you're choosing it based on its looks first, right? It's gotta look cool.
And then see, I can't reach that thing because they hang from the ceiling, so I can't reach it. And he pulled it down for me, and I did noodle around on it for a little bit, and it was actually very comfortable. It did fit my hands very well.
Yeah. Well, my whole screen went weird for a second, and now it's back. I don't know. I hope we don't have a major glitchy show. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, if it's anything like yesterday, everywhere I went, the person working was having glitching stuff. So like when we went to the dump thing,
yes,
they couldn't get their card reader to work.
That's true.
And then I went somewhere else, and now I'm forgetting where it was, and they were having issues too.
Well, you took our son to the eye doctor. Was that it?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No, good. I feel like it was before that.
Well, at any rate,
what it was.
So hopefully we won't have any major issues.
Yeah, because the issues were supposed to be yesterday because it was Monday.
Right. It's Tuesday.
Now it's Tuesday.
Tuesday's supposed to be the I think now that you mention it, most people dread Monday morning because they got to go back to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Yeah.
And then they look at Wednesday as hump day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're halfway through the week.
There. Yeah.
And there's a lot of events that happen on a Wednesday evening too. Community things. And then Thursday is just like the push through day. And then Friday's like casual Friday for so many people. Oh, we can wear jeans to work today.
I don't know. I feel like Thursday's like pre-weekend.
Right?
It's like pre-Friday. It's like things are starting to happen. Like you could even see it just with, Ian's job working at the Brickyard.
Yeah.
Like he'll be like,
Jamie Vink is here.
Well, hello, Jamie Vink. He'll be like, he works Sunday through Thursday. And so Sunday he'll be like, it's going to be dead.
Yeah.
Because they already know in advance how many, I guess you have to reserve. I don't know that they do walk-ins, but they'll already know in advance like
how many people they have to serve.
How many people they're going to have. So he's like, it's going to be dead today. I'm like, all right. So then I know he's going to get off a little earlier than normal. And then by the time Thursday rolls around, he's getting off at his normal time or a little later. It's always like double what it was earlier in the week.
Well, yeah. And then, but my whole point in telling you all that was like, well, what happens on Tuesdays? The Drummergy podcast happens on Tuesday. So it's like this, Monday's hard to get going, but then the Drummergy podcast is like that shot of adrenaline to kind of, it's the afterburner to get us
that was violent.
Motivated to go through the week. Yes. But then if you do cool stuff on the weekend, that high that you get from that all the happy endorphin stuff keep you going for a few days. Which, check this out. So one of my students, Evelyn, I've talked about before. She did some drum covers here in December, and then some people saw those drum covers of hers, and then she ended up in a band called Reactivo.
Ooh,
that's probably the best I've ever said it.
Wow, okay, you got that
Reactivo, and so. They've been gigging. She's been gigging. She comes here. She waves cash in my face that she's paying for her drum lessons from her gigs, which is so.
She probably really does wave it too.
She does. She walks right in the door and goes, "I played a gig," and then she pays for her drum lessons. And so the other day, last Wednesday, she came to lessons and she was talking about her bandmates were like, you got to come see this really cool band with us. We're going to go check them out at Big Al's. And they show a picture of Casio Dreams, and they see Mary, and Evelyn goes, oh, that's my producer. And so, ladies and gentlemen, here is a picture of me and Evelyn hanging out at the Casio Dreams concert. And Evelyn's pretty short, so I bent down to get my picture taken with Evelyn. So there, so there we go. There we go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then, just to show everybody how much of a rock star the producer is, here's a little picture of Casio Dreams at Big Al's with the producer and Adam right there.
Oh,
that was a huge crowd, Mary.
It was a really good crowd.
Really, really cool, impressive stuff. James Harrison is here. James, our buddy, is having a little health issue there.
Glad to see you're on.
Yeah, he's home. I know.
Yay.
People should follow James Harrison if you're a drummer, because James keeps putting out all these cool videos all the time in different subjects. Mistake Monday, that's one of the things.
Monday.
That's one of the videos that James does every week is Mistake Monday, and he'll talk about like Monday's a mistake, right? I got my excuse me. Reminds me of when JB started dying while we were doing the show.
Yeah, but he was coughing.
He was he got coughing, and then he couldn't get out. He got
like a dry spot in his throat and couldn't get it to.
Yeah, but we love our James Harrison. And see, Jamie Vink says, love to you, James. There you go. Yeah, but so James will do these videos called Mistake Monday, and he'll talk about maybe some stuff that happened when he was younger, as a younger drummer, and stuff that he may avoided or thought was stupid or not cool at the time, and then to later on realize, oh, maybe if I would have spent some time then doing the thing. So you just got to go follow James Harrison. And there he is right there in the comments.
There he is. Just click on his name.
Just click on his name, and you'll be in the club.
Yeah.
Just like me. Just like the producer. So, yeah, the Big Al show was really, really cool. There's tons of people. And, you see friends coming and showing up and supporting the band.
Yeah, I saw a high school buddy.
How come you're not? I don't see people at my shows. What the heck?
You don't play many shows, Fred.
That's right. I will tell you, though, that Midline has a show coming up on August 1st.
What?
Yep. It hasn't been officially announced, but maybe this is an official announcement. We'll be playing August 1st at the Olympic with two other bands, 57 Heavy and Cardiac Drift. So it's going to be a fun night. We're just waiting for the ticket link to be available. And you can start getting your tickets for that.
August 1st.
August 1st.
Gotta look at my calendar and make sure that I'm not.
I'm sure you're busy.
Wow. Nope. The only thing I have to do. Nope. I got nothing.
You could be there?
Right now I can. For some reason it says I have to pick Ian up from work, but he doesn't work on Saturdays.
Hey, you want to be merch girl?
Is there merch?
Yeah, we have a little bit of merch.
Oh,
we probably have about the same amount of merch as Casio Dreams.
You know what I like about running merch?
No, what do you like about
There's
running
usually
merch?
a seat.
Oh. There's a place.
It's a guaranteed seat.
There's a place to
with
sit.
a table.
Now I've somehow just kind of drifted into the merch guy for Casio Dreams.
Well, you're the merch supervisor.
I'm the merch supervisor.
Jude is the merch guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chip Ritter is here.
Hello, Chip and Thomas Schuster.
And Thomas Schuster. Yes, Thomas Schuster was at your show. I had several students at your gig, Mary.
Yeah. There was
cool.
I feel like there was another one where you had a bunch of students there too.
That you played?
Yeah.
It could be.
That was just the last few weeks.
I just brag on you all the time. That's all. and they get to know you because you're in the production room when my students are here. They're like, oh, there's the producer. They don't even call her Mary. They just there's the producer.
I'm just gonna get a shirt made. The producer.
I got you a coffee cup once that says world's greatest producer or something on it. It's like that one from The Office, but it says producer on it. It says world's greatest boss.
Yeah, but I think Ian
Or maybe
probably
it says
took it, and I don't
this
know
is
where
a
it is.
producer and has an arrow pointing up.
I don't know. I don't know where it is because I don't even know if I've gotten to use it.
It's in the drawer under the coffee maker.
Oh, well.
I just saw it.
Oh, okay.
I just saw
Say
it.
Ian makes coffee and he'll take all the special cups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, oh,
yeah.
that's my class of 1990 cup, like from 1990. Please don't drop that. Oh, that's my cup from the first college I went to in Virginia, Randolph-Macon. Please don't break that.
Well, I mean, they just want to be close to their mom.
Oh, I guess.
That's it. Well, we better get moving forward.
That's it.
We better get moving forward. The Goofy Holidays of the Day, there's a few of them today. And I don't normally read these to the producer the night before, but last night I did. But I said every single week, it seems, over the last couple months has been some kind of dessert. And today is no different because today is National Fudge Day.
Fudge.
Oh,
fudge.
Yeah. Except I didn't say fudge. I said the
mother of all swear words.
Hello, Mrs.
What
Schwartz.
Did you say?
Do you know what my son just said? What? Do you know where he heard it? He heard it from your son.
He probably heard it from his father. No, he heard it from your son.
We should have
had
something.
You hear poor Schwartz in the background getting his butt beat.
Had I known that, had I known this very moment was going to happen, I would say put in the comments if you know what movie we're talking about, and you would win a free whatever.
You have to have that thing available, though.
I know. I didn't have it available.
Okay, so what's the desserts? We got fudge.
That's it.
Oh, I thought there were others.
Fresh Veggies Day.
Oh, it was a food thing. That's right.
I mean, how can you compete?
Oh, let's see. Fresh veggies or
versus fudge. Yeah. And to stay up for the food themes, it's National Cannoli Day and National Tortilla Day.
You know, I don't think I've ever had a cannoli.
Well, our son is about to start working at Old Chicago. One of our sons.
Well, I don't know if they sell cannoli.
Isn't it like an Italian pizza-y thing? Google it. Google it.
Chicago?
Yeah. Google Old Chicago, see if they sell cannolis.
Old Chicago menu.
Unless I have it confused with something else.
Well,
at any rate, while you're looking that up.
Cannoli sounds Italian.
It's also World Sea Turtle Day.
Aww.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do? Like,
I don't know, go to the zoo or something?
The zoo?
It's National Arborist Appreciation Day, recognizes tree care professionals. I sound like I just did a commercial. Your tree care.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's funny that you'd bring that up after we're looking at all the trees at my parents' house that need to be taken down or like massively trimmed.
Right.
Oh, they have fried pickles.
Whoa. That's always a favorite of yours.
Served with ranch or sweet Thai chili dipping sauce. Well.
There you go.
Right now.
Yes.
Big Al's holds the title for best fried pickles in town.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well,
by me.
We're going to talk about drums here in 1 second, but we were talking about, so, you know, most people know I used to own landscaping business, and I've been getting a little touch of landscaping the last few days because I've been helping clean up Mary's parents' yard.
It's just yard work,
which needs some attention.
Lots of attention.
And they have this huge back driveway thing, and they have a big property. And Mary and I were there yesterday morning doing some cleanup stuff, and kind of nearing the tail end of some of the cleanup in that back driveway. And there's this little cart thing that my father-in-law uses to attach to his rider mower. It's
basically a little trailer, a little mini trailer.
Yeah, it's like a dump trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like, what, not even 3 feet long. It's very, very small.
It probably holds a garbage can's worth of stuff.
If that, yeah.
So
and it's been around since...
Dude, I'm going to tell this story.
It's older than me, okay?
It is older
It was
than
my
you.
grandparents. It just got left at the house.
Yeah. And so Mary had moved it out of the way, and then I needed to move it out of the way, and I pushed it, and it was kind of in the shade. And then I went
up against the house.
And then I went to move my truck, not thinking that it was in the way. And my right front wheel caught it and wedged it between the foundation of the house, and it rolled up under my tire, and I heard this metal crunching sound, and then my truck wouldn't move forward. And Mary's looking at me with her eyes like this big.
What have you done?
And I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? And so I get out, and I had wrapped that little trailer got wrapped around my tire, wedged between the foundation of the house and then the other end of the frame of this thing, straight through my tire, and had this about 6-inch tear in my sidewall. So it's sitting there on the rim.
It's like somebody took a crowbar and just shoved it into the sidewall of your
Yeah,
tire.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was so bad.
So we had to do a little finagling to get untangled for one. I'm glad that it didn't actually turn around, because it would have just wrecked my front fender. Like, it would have just torn it up.
Well,
So-
the fender was kind of, I thought it did wreck your fender because it was kind of, it was pushed, but I think it was just
It curled up,
flexible
yeah.
enough that it popped back. But
Yeah. So, yeah, I had to buy stupid tires. Good grief. Well, let's get into drums. How about we get
That's
into
fun.
drums, Mary Fisher?
yeah, I don't see cannolis at Old Chicago.
Oh, man. Well, we'll have to find some. It's National Cannoli Day, so maybe
I
for
thought
breakfast we go.
Is a cannoli
Go
like
find-
a dessert?
I don't
or-
know. Well, you're the one
How do you
that's on
spell
the
it? Is
internet.
it with a C?
It is
Cannoli.
C-A.
Oh, and yeah, it's a pastry.
Ah.
So yeah.
See, there's more. There you go. More desserts.
Oh, okay. It looks like it's a pastry. Like, pretend you're taking like a tortilla, like,
Mhm.
and you just kind of roll it to where each side just kind of barely touches, and then it's got like whipped cream or chocolate or something on the inside. It almost looks like a crepe, like rolled up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man, that's making me like. Let's get through this episode.
No, I don't think that's something I would eat. I'm not into crepes and things like that.
All right. Well, last week I talked about drummers who hit hard and the amount of force. So, and I talked to your drummer Jeff Poole about this a little bit when before your concert the other night, and we were talking about some of the drummers that we see online who just like so abusively, and they're gripping the stick just, and they're bashing their cymbals and their drums, and it's like they're being hit so hard the drum's just like, I don't even know what to do. It's like, I've made as much sound as I'm capable of making, and now I'm breaking. That's exactly what we were talking about.
Interesting.
And I forgot to. I don't know if I can do it still. I don't know if I can do it. Since we're live, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to see if I can do it. This is kind of a fun little thing here.
Well, it's okay. So I didn't hear your thing last week. Sorry. But I would think that
Nope.
There's
I did the wrong
a
thing.
point to where you can't get good quality sound out of your instrument anymore.
No.
So like, having grown up playing flute, if you blow too hard on the flute, you're not going to get a good tone. It's just going to freak out. Same with like a saxophone, or like a violin. If you're pushing on the bow down too hard or whatever, it's like rah! When
Right.
Piano, same thing. Like, just banging around the piano, it just doesn't sound good. So
Yeah, I was trying.
But
to
at the
add
same time, if you've got too light of a touch, then it's like,
Uh-oh.
like there's no.
My video thing's freaking out again.
I guess
Oh, now
so.
they're caught back up. I
It's
don't
really
know if I can touch
distracting.
anything anymore. I was trying to bring up another picture I thought of, but yeah. So right, banging on a piano is just like, at some point, what's happening? Nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you got to still be able to use dynamics, I would think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you still have to have that soft and then that loud.
That last week's episode kind of stirred up some conversation, not just online, but like people that I came across, like when I was at your concert and being the merch guy, just different people coming up saying, I really like watching your show and talking about hitting hard. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Blastissimo.
Blastissimo. Exactly. Triple forte is what I call that. But, so I was hanging out with my buddy Dave Goff and my buddy Jared Halleck the other night,
And
and the producer.
thank you.
and we were on the back our courtyard that we got some new patio furniture and stuff, and that's the picture I was trying to share, and I can't find it.
Oh shoot!
What happened to it? I wonder if I could do this. Am I still live?
Yeah. Well, remember, from my perspective, I'm 7 seconds behind you.
I don't think this is going to mess anything up, but here it is. I'm going to make sure I download it. Boom. We're doing it live. I want to see, this is going to be kind of fun.
The heck, bro?
Yep. So I want to add this photo. So I was hanging out with the producer and Jared Halleck and Dave Goff. Here we go. This will work. This should work. Check it out. There is the courtyard outside of the studio. Do you see it? I know you're on a delay. Yeah. So we decided we're going to rename the courtyard to the Dream Big Patio. And
the Dream Big Patio.
Yeah, and we hung out there for nearly 3 hours talking about drums and some fun stuff that we may have in store down the road. So it's really, really cool. And then last night after midline practice, we hung out there for like 45 minutes. Everybody just walked out the door and sat down. It was this fun little hang.
I know. I was like, what? Everybody was leaving and they just went and sat down. What happened?
Yeah. Yeah. Side note is this is the result of a really good yard sale find.
Well, so the orange chairs on the right.
Yes.
And the little table between them that you can't really see were given to us by our neighbor across the street.
Yep.
And then we were out yard sailing and now I think she said that their community yard sale is next week.
It is.
This coming weekend. But she was out ahead of time because she's trying to move.
Yeah.
And she I think, I don't know if her parents were living with her elderly parents, or
too deep in the weeds.
Anyway, she had all this stuff. They passed away, and she had all of their stuff she was trying to sell last year.
Yeah.
And still had stuff. And so we see this little sign, and we go into the neighborhood, and sure enough, it's the same house that we went to last year and bought like the air conditioner and my my studio, and then the podcast table and chairs, the stools were across the street, I guess.
Yep.
And anyways, we're like, oh, it's this house again. And she had one of those big container, like a chest. It's like those plastic chests that you keep your outdoor cushions in. And we're like, ooh, we need one of those for those orange cushions.
Yep.
And so we stopped and we're like, how much was that? $25. We're like, yeah, we'll take that. So we grabbed that. And then we're just kind of looking around at some of the stuff. And she's like, oh, I've got more stuff in my house, blah, blah, blah. And Fred just kind of, this furniture is sitting there. And he's like, well, just out of curiosity, how much are you selling this for? She's like, oh, $45. We're like, I'm
going to go get the pickup.
Yeah, this isn't going to fit in the van. Go get the truck.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was great. But anyway, so
it's wonderful. I love it.
It was so fun. Who doesn't want to hang out on the Dream Big Patio?
Right.
And if you look closely by the green door, you see the Fred Rock School of Drumming rock sign. So
which one of your students was?
Yeah, when Chris
McCall
was taking lessons, he and a handful of other students went in on that for a Christmas gift one year. Yeah. Super awesome. Mm-hmm. But this is where we were hanging out, and we were talking with Dave Goff and talking about having different ailments when you play, and we got on this discussion about like how important your seat height is.
Yeah.
Brian Lovins is here. Brian, you're right on time because we're just now starting the conversation on ergonomics.
Ergonomy.
Yeah. It reminds me of when the kids were little and they'd say weird words weird.
Instead of the remote, it was the air remote.
The air remote, and then the Suburban was the semi-bourbon.
Yeah.
The BMW was the W car.
Yeah.
The Escalator was the Elongator.
The Elongator, yeah.
And we just call them that now.
Yeah.
That's just the names that the kids gave, and we kept them.
Yeah.
So when we were talking with Dave, he was talking about how he's has this hand injury from a mountain bike accident, and now he plays more open handed. So he kind of adjusted how his kit's put together a little bit. So ergonomics is the relationship of the man to the machine,
Whoa.
or if I want to be politically correct, the woman to the machine,
Oh, the human.
the
Come on
human
now.
to the machine, the drummer to the drums.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Now, I believe that drums are probably the most customizable instrument out there because different size drums, not just talking about the diameter, but the depth of the drums can affect different ways to be able to set up. The hardware that you use, the size of the cymbals that you have, all of these things. And how easily you can move around the drums based on how they're put together. And one of the things that we talked about was, when I was putting my website together for my teaching, I wanted to have the best website. And my video is freaking out. Hopefully it's okay for everybody. Is it okay for you, producer, my
I'll
video?
let you know in 7 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's fine.
Well, I have the delay now too.
It must be okay because, uh-oh.
I don't know what's happening. My it's glitching.
Well, you're still going, and you're still going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Okay. Until the audience says, "Hey, where'd you go?" We're good to go. But when I looked at other drum teaching websites, I looked at websites in all the big cities, and sometimes you come across somebody who's teaching drum lessons, and I mentioned this to Dave. They put a picture of the drum set these students are playing on, and it looks like they dragged them out of a closet in a junior high somewhere that hasn't been touched forever. And they've got one tom almost at a 90-degree angle and the other tom's at a 90-degree angle. And there's like...
You could stick another tom in between them.
Yes.
Or two.
There's like 10 to 14 inches of gap between those two toms. Yeah. And then maybe the floor tom's tilted way on its side and it's low. And it's just like, really? You're teaching that's what your students are playing? That's how you think a drum set should be put together? And so we just went on like this tirade.
Well, when I was in band in 5th grade, when I started playing flute, I had to be taught how to put my flute together. I mean, it's 3 pieces.
Yeah.
But you have to line them up properly so that your fingers are situated properly and the mouthpiece is seated properly, and that so yeah.
Well, but I don't think a flute is highly customizable, is it?
No, but what I'm getting at is like you have to learn how to put those things together.
Right. And I want to preface this by saying you don't have to set your drums up like I do, because how I set my drums up works for me. But I can tell you this, I have absolutely zero ailments, physical ailments or disabilities from drumming. Zero, none. And I know lots of drummers who have rotator cuff injuries.
Oof.
They've got tennis elbow.
From drumming?
Yeah. They've got...
The heck?
They've got carpal tunnel. They've got... They've got arthritis. All of these ailments. And I think a lot of it highly is due to last week's episode about hitting hard, because they're just moving in a way that's really abusive to their body.
Well, I remember watching a video with Neil Peart, and he was talking about, I don't know if it was so much ergonomics. Aerodynamics. I think that's what I said. I don't know if it was so much about that, or if he was talking about like the fluidity of the movement and drawing the sound out of the drums.
Mm-hmm.
And I would think that if you're moving fluidly, then you would probably have fewer injuries than somebody who's just like hammering concrete. Like there's because there's going to be this like response from hitting something so hard that comes back on you.
Exactly. And now I I've experienced tennis elbow before from the landscape business because, you know, if you're using a shovel and you're stabbing it into really hard ground over and over, there's just no way to get around it.
Okay, dude, I've had tennis elbow from sleeping on my arm wrong.
You weren't even playing tennis.
No. Nope.
You got ripped off.
Yeah.
At least if you had an injury by the name of what the injury is, you should have been doing that activity, right?
Yeah, and I had to go to it was actually a chiropractor I saw that he put those weird strips of tape on my arm, and then he had me hold something, and it like freaked out my muscles. It like made my muscles twitch in that arm. And he said, I don't know what the machine was called, but he said it basically is like strengthening your muscles.
Were you being electrocuted in some way?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was really weird. And when he'd make it like a higher level or whatever, it would be like, okay, you got to stop. I don't like how this feels. But it was supposed to make the muscles stronger around that elbow.
Yeah.
Because whatever I did, like I don't know if I hyperextended it or whatever, but it anyway, it worked. He after about like 5 treatments, it was gone. So
Gary Tackett says, I need my Ludwig's tune. Gary, let's I think you're out of town this weekend, but maybe I could just come over and I could bring you your cymbals. Gary's buying my little hi-hat cymbals for his drum kit.
I didn't know that.
And get the drums tuned up. And James Harrison says Marketplace, Craigslist, pawn shop setups are usually horrible.
Yeah.
And because when people go to take drum lessons,
it's almost comical.
It is. And either they take drum lessons and they're not none of this information gets taught, or they're self-taught. But okay, like Gary's saying his drums need to be tuned. When you play on an instrument that sounds bad,
yeah,
what's the motivation to play it? It's just like, if I hear a horrible noise, I want to get away from that noise. Yeah. I'm not into hanging out. I don't hear it and be like, I'm just going to endure this for the next hour.
That's why I stopped playing violin in 3rd grade, was I couldn't get past the squeaking.
God bless you. God bless you. Yeah. And so nobody wants to play. So if they're not trained or taught how to tune drums, which I see Thomas is here, and Thomas is another student that I need to make some time and go over and help him get his new drum heads on, so his drums sound awesome. But the other thing is, if it sounds bad and it's uncomfortable to play, you don't really know how to put it together, then it's kind of like, well, I've got this thing that's sounds bad and it's uncomfortable to sit at. It's like there's no motivation to practice. So you got to be able to have some sort of starting point on putting your drums together that makes them easy to play and to sound good. And I think that's really, really important for to be part of the curriculum, as it were. So Thomas says there is more than one way to skin a cat, more than one way to set up the drums. I feel like nobody truly knows how to set up their drums until they learn to play them. They're obviously wrong ways to set up a kit, though. Yeah. Yeah, and Gary's going to California, and Mike Vanderhall from the band Y&T is playing drums. Yeah, Gary, I'd love to have Mike on the show, too. Now that he and I have been emailing, I think I could probably make that happen. He was on the Drummers Education Connection podcast, last week or the week before? 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh.
And I commented, I'm like, hey, I play with Gary Tackett sometimes, your old buddy. And he's like, oh, yeah, Gary's this is an amazing guitar player. Yeah. Okay. And so there you go.
Okay.
But putting drums together. Now, for me, I think it's really important, first and foremost, that the drums are playable and they're comfortable to play. But at the same time, for me, I'm a showy drummer. I like to make big movements when I play. And so I used to work for this company called Worldwide Showcase, and there was a lot of emphasis put on putting together a really great show and for the drummer to be visible. So my cymbals were super, super high. up in the air, and Tom's really, really low and flat. And I probably played way more abusively then. And so my sticks were coming in at the cymbals like at an extreme angle. And I would break cymbals really, really fast because they were just being struck wrong. I wasn't playing them properly, but it looked cool. It looked cool. Did I lose you in there?
No?
Oh, okay. It got really, really quiet. Anyway, so over time, as I started to get a little older and maturing as a drummer, just a little bit more, my cymbals came down a little bit further, and the angle of them changed slightly. So they're not necessarily completely flat, but they do have a little bit of an angle to them because I like the look of flat drums and flat cymbals. I like the look of that. Now, is that conducive to playing well? Yes and no, I guess. Just depends on your approach. Like going back to last week's episode of hitting hard. And I had this discussion with Rick Stojak call me too after that episode. And he mentioned I was talking about like my two main cymbals I crash on are heavier cymbals. They're louder cymbals. And I can bash away at those more. But my two side crashes that I have are thinner cymbals, and I don't hit them in the same way that I hit the two main crashes. So how hard I'm playing and everything, my approach to those cymbals can change in just milliseconds as I go from one to the next. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Well, hey producer, you're a singer. How important is mic technique to the overall sound of your voice?
Well, I'm sure there's some technicalities I'm not aware of, but like I think there's a sweet spot on the distance from the mic to your mouth.
Sure.
And I in the olden days,
the
pre Casio Dreams days,
oh,
I used to get I used to get my mouth right up on the mic. Like I used to touch the mic with my mouth.
mm-hmm.
I don't really remember why I did that. I think partly because I was playing guitar and I was looking at music. And so I think it was a way to keep me from falling over. It was like to keep me balanced.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, that was part of it. And then also just to have that consistency of having, always being right there and not moving around or whatever. But, then with Casio Dreams, I think because I was always wearing bright lipstick, before I got the kind that doesn't rub off, it was getting on the screen of the mic, and that was no good. And so I just started pulling it away a little bit, and then we got I've also noticed
so your mic technique is a result of getting lipstick on your screen of your mic.
No, that's just part of it. But like I wouldn't typically hear recordings of me singing. And so I felt like there are times, and sometimes I noticed it at church too. And it would be like if I was playing the piano, my mouth wasn't on the mic. It was only when I was playing guitar. But I would notice sometimes that, like if I was singing louder, that it sounded like it was overloading the mic. Mm-hmm. Not clipping, but it like just didn't sound good. Like it was
it distorted it in some way.
Yeah, like some sort of weird distortion. And I don't know what that was. I don't know the technicalities of all that, but I found like that by holding it further away from my mouth, just a couple inches. It doesn't have to be far. Holding it away was better, and it sounded better.
Yeah.
But like, if you're constantly moving that, like some people move away from the mic. I think they think it's going to pick them up, but the stage mics are fairly directional, I think. And so like if you turn your head and you're looking that way or you're looking that way, I don't know if you can see me.
Well, we can hear
Yeah,
the
can you hear me
change just on
changing?
that
Yeah.
microphone you're on
Okay,
now.
yeah. So that changes it. And then if I'm singing and I'm pulling the mic away from like this, it's like you can hear that. Like I don't know why people will decide, oh, I'm gonna sing loud, so I'm gonna pull the mic 5 feet away from
Yeah.
my face. It's like, or you could just not sing that loud.
Yep.
Like I think you could pull the mic away if you're trying to do like a fade out type thing. You're singing and you want it to get quieter, and so then because you're finishing a phrase, and
So the
more for
answer
dramatic effect. But
so the answer is yes. It makes a big deal on your mic
yeah,
technique. But
sure.
you weren't. Did anybody tell you that, or it's just the lipstick thing made
No,
that?
for me, no. The lipstick was only part of it. That was like 10% of it. The distortion sound was the bulk of it.
Yeah.
And I think that like different mics may have different. I don't know. I remember seeing somebody mention like, "Oh, I found out on this mic you have to hold it this far from your mouth for it to
Yeah.
be like to pick you up properly or something." I was like, "Oh."
So
all right.
Thomas says, when is Mary going to do a Singergy podcast?
Singergy.
Yeah. Well, Singergy is
I don't know what I would talk
it's
about.
under the umbrella of the Drummergy podcast. And James says when someone sits in a car, they adjust the seat steering wheel for optimal
Yes.
comfort, different
The
for any driver.
mirrors.
Ergonomics
Yeah.
for driving, drumming is the same. Yep. I made this little note because I knew that James would be here for one. But like different styles and trends and genres can be a driving force in how somebody puts a drum set
Sure.
together. Now I know, like for me in the '80s, and maybe it was the same for James. I'm not 100% sure, but sometimes drummers would sit really low, and I think part of that was like, we had these huge deep toms in the '80s that sat on top of your bass drum, right? And there's like these things are bulky and they're taking up a lot of space. And so sometimes sitting lower and then you get the drums tilted way back. And then the only part of the drummer that you see is like where their hairline starts.
Yeah.
And you'd see sticks and a flash of cymbals once in a while. And
I just thought that was because they were shy. They're hiding behind the drums.
And probably sometimes that might be true. Like they could hide behind the wall of drums, right?
Yeah.
And then, the next time I bought a drum kit, this DW one, I got shallower toms, and I moved from having toms mounted to the bass drum. Now there's a whole discussion within that too on should your drums be or not be mounted to your bass drum. Sonically, I don't really hear a difference. Like, ooh, a Virgin bass drum is better than one that has this extra hardware. We're just looking for this dead thumpy sound, right?
Okay, so ergonomically with your kick drum,
yes,
is there and your stool. So I would think everything would start with your relationship between your body relationship between your kick drum and your stool.
Yeah.
That it would all start there. Right? Because you can't your kick drum's not going to go up and down. It's in a fixed position. You might be able to change it, like you might be able to like tweak the angle of it a little bit from
your kick, snare,
right
and
to left,
and hi-hat are going to be the three most used instruments in the drum kit.
Right.
And I've done a lot of shows only using that, and maybe a splash cymbal mounted to the hi-hat stand. But you're
going to start with that. You're going to start with like your relationship between your butt and how your leg goes out to the kick drum and your hi-hat.
Yeah.
So what is the best, or what do you feel like is the best, like, because you're going to have your knees at a certain angle, right? So like what seems to be the best position or like height of your butt to your knee angle, so that you're not, because you hear about people like, oh, my back hurts, this or that, because of
Yeah.
And plus, on top of it, then they might be slouching. Well, why are they slouching?
I
Does it
tell
mean
my
they don't have
students all
their?
the time to sit up straight.
I know, but are they slouching because their stool is not at the proper height?
No, well, that could happen, but I think a lot of times kids are in a habit of slouching.
Okay.
And I'm like, look how much taller you become when you just sit up.
Yeah, but I see that with adults too.
Yeah, but it seems like for me, it's a lot of times kids get used to just curving their back in that way.
Yeah, because they're used to being hunched over a phone or something. They're looking at something tiny.
Yeah, I don't know.
You just curve up in a ball.
But Joffrey Stone says Nico from Iron Maiden comes to mind. Like, he's totally hidden behind the drums, the way that his drums are all put together. But he's totally from that early 80s, maybe late 70s kind of approach to putting drums together. I have two toms, but they're offset of the bass drum, and then my ride cymbal is low and flat right over the top of the bass drum, and then my two floor toms off to the right. And most of my students prefer that kind of a setup, and they like how my drums sound, and they like how it feels to play my drums. It's comfortable for most everybody to play my drum set. And so what does that tell you? If most people sitting behind my drums go, oh, this is really comfortable to play, does that say anything about how I might put drums together?
I would think.
Where like a majority of people sitting behind my drums go, oh, this is really comfortable to play.
Or they've put theirs together so poorly.
That could be too.
That anything is better.
Yeah. So, most, how do I want to say this? Most kind of like off the shelf or out of the box drum sets that you can buy, like a package deal off of Sweetwater or something like that, will have toms mounted to the bass drum. And no knock on that whatsoever. But you have a bass drum that's in front of your right leg, and then two toms that are mounted over there. So they're kind of to the right. And then if you have a ride cymbal to that, now that ride cymbal's even further to the right. And then your bass drum, or your floor toms off to the right, and your snare drum's right in your center, and the hi-hat's right there. It's like the space.
So is the snare drum supposed to be right in the center? Or can it be over to the left a little bit?
No, I think the snare drum needs to be just smack dab right between your legs.
You're straddling it.
Yeah. Okay. And I've mentioned before on episodes where I used to rim shot like every single hit.
And then what height should your snare be at? Like, in relationship to your arms?
When I was doing that, my snare drum was a little bit higher to make it super easy to hit a rim shot every single hit. It was just the way that my hand just naturally came down. It matched that. And then I had a recording engineer say, could you not do that every time?
Yeah.
And I was like, it never even occurred to me that might be a problem. So I ended up lowering my snare drum just a little bit to stop me from hitting a rim shot every single time. And then I just kind of got used to that's where my snare drum is. And then some of my students, when they play that, it feels low to them, so they'll raise the snare drum up a little bit. I don't like, oh, you can't move that. I want my students to be comfortable as possible when they play. But the general setup, my students tend to copy how I put my drums together. But, having my drums flat, my cymbals a little bit higher and flat, I think looks cool. I'm a showy drummer. I love to watch showy drummers who play really well and have movement and look like they enjoy being there.
Your toms aren't, your rack toms are not flat.
They're close.
They're flat compared to a lot of them, but they have a slight angle to them.
They do have a very slight angle to them.
But I think the angle is like if you were to lift your arms up and hold a stick straight out to your toms, they're at an angle where they're flat in relationship to how your arm is going, like how the stick would come to it.
Yeah, exactly. And some drummers, when they first start playing, I'm basing this largely off of like the amount of students I have and the years that I've been teaching, and kind of how some students think is they think the closer they sit to the drums, the closer they have everything to them, the easier it is to get to them. Well,
Oh.
now you just took natural movement of how your body moves and compressed it.
Now you're pulling your arms in
So
closer to your chest.
now you're I know it's kind of hard to see how I'm moving on this camera, but now everything's close, but you can't actually extend. You're creating tension in your body the closer everything becomes to you.
Hmm.
But it's like kind of a visual thing for them. It's like, oh, if it's closer, I can get to them faster. Well, not
Hmm.
necessarily. It's really uncomfortable, and now you're constricting your movement. And the opposite as well too is like the further the drums get away, the farther you have to reach to get to them, right? So for me, if I'm just sitting on the drum stool, boom, and my hands are just slightly behind my knees and just in a very natural position, my sticks are kind of at this 45-degree angle, and they're landing just right smack dab in the middle of the snare. And that's where I start. And then my seat height is to where if my knees were at a 90, but then my thighs are up just a little bit higher than that. And that's a really comfortable seat height for me. And then that
Oh.
base the snare drum height off of that. And then when my arm is like this and I have a stick in my hand, that my forearm and my stick and everything's pretty much on an equal plane to the height of my hi-hat cymbals. And that's where it
So
starts for
your
me.
your butt is technically a little lower than your knees. Is that what you were
No,
saying?
it's a little bit higher.
Oh, okay.
A little bit higher.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where everything starts for me is those three things. And then if I just uh, at let's say your neutral position, your starting position, everything is really really comfortable. Hi-hats right there, snare drums right there. I'm not reaching further to get to them, and I'm not pulling my hands in closer to get to them. It's
Yeah.
just where my body would naturally be in neutral.
Uh-huh.
That's where the sticks are landing. And then as I go to play around the toms, it's just a really comfortable slight extension, and that's where like no tension in my body is happening as a result of moving around the drum kit. No tension at all.
Okay.
And don't forget you're adding like another 14, 12, well, probably 12
Yeah, the
inches.
sticks.
And once you have the stick in your hand, you've got another 10 to 12 inches of stick out in front of you. So the cymbals don't have to be like right in your face. They can be just like where you naturally move your hand, and then the stick is, another 10 inches away from that. It's really, really comfortable to play your cymbals. Super comfortable. And live sound engineers and recording engineers have always appreciated my cymbals having some distance between the toms and the cymbals for the microphones. Little less bleed going into there.
Mm.
Joffrey says I've based drum setup after yours because I've always liked your sound, look, and style. Just like 27 years ago, I kind of looked at Fahed from Flight of Void's guitar tone and set up in some Metallica and built my best up from that. And then he just said, "Oh, you just said natural movement, economy of motion. I use that in teaching combative all the." Yeah, so let's put Joffrey's comment up there. So Joff is a self-defense instructor.
Oh.
Which Joff can tell me for sure. I get lost in the world of like martial arts, like
Yeah.
what's karate versus kung fu and
It's the
jiu-jitsu
country.
and all of those kind of different things. I don't know the difference at all. So
They have similarities, but
yeah,
but
but it's a way of defending yourself, right?
yes.
In all of those, and so Joff and I talked about this is like, when you want to make your movements, whatever those are, I might look like a total fool trying to imitate them, but there's going to be, just like he said, that economy of motions and things that are going to keep you safe and in control and getting the result that you need all at the same time. James Harrison, when I started drumming, Drum didn't have the ability to be adjusted by height, and throats didn't go low. Oh yeah, eventually things changed. I think lower back problems are the main injury for most drummers over time. Carpal injuries are more of a volume tension issue, but can be
Yeah.
slightly ergonomic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Makes sense.
that's a huge thing to consider is old technology, I guess if you want to call that,
Sure.
or old. When you come across old hardware, it tends to be spindly. It's not like a robust, heavy piece of equipment, right? And but I think in the era that those were made, drummers weren't playing like they are now. They weren't hitting harder.
I don't know.
Maybe stylistically, they still lived more in a world of jazz and blues, and hard rock
Yeah.
wasn't a thing,
Sure.
right? So
Makes sense.
yeah, and if you look at even like old pictures of the Beatles, there was a drum throne that was made, and it wasn't adjustable. It was just a thing. You could see Ringo
Here's your
sitting on it.
stool.
Right, here's your stool.
Like a chair from the dining room.
Right, exactly. It's like a one size fits all kind of a.
So Thomas Schuster had a question a little bit.
Did I miss it?
Oh yeah, you skipped some stuff.
Oh, sorry.
He said, "Do some people set up their kits based on their personal drummergy,
Yeah.
or does hard or softer hitting equate to different sound and emotions?"
Yes. So I think there's dynamics versus abusive playing, which we kind of went over that a little bit last week. But you want to be able to take full advantage of what your instrument can offer. And every drum, every cymbal is going to have its sweet spot of sound where, well, for example, when the producer's in there and she's recording, she doesn't just record me, but if we have other drummers come over here and play, or other musicians that we're recording, they could be inconsistent in how they hit.
Mm-hmm.
Or Mary will do a sound check to get a level on the input of every drum, and they might just be tapping away, and then when they actually go to play the song, they actually just lay into it.
Yeah.
It's the same as doing a live sound check. It's like, play how you're going to play.
Right? Yeah. Well, one thing I remember you telling me when I was playing guitar and I was still new at it is, you weren't happy with my strumming, and you said, play with authority.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. And so I guess I don't know how to explain what I was doing, except that maybe perhaps I was like timid or like shy on it. Like I was afraid of the sound coming out. I don't know. But I did change that. But I know that, like, I mean, especially when we did like the album with those kids,
mm-hmm.
There was one drummer who was quite good, and I didn't have an issue with him at all. But then the others were like, the snare hits were so inconsistent.
Yeah.
That it was frustrating. And then, or they hit so quiet,
yeah,
that it was like, dude, you're barely showing up on my meters. Like, you need to hit the drums.
Well, you have to be.
You can't play in triple, quadruple P.
Right. Like talking about being playing with authority. I've learned to call that being committed to the movement, or being committed to what you're playing.
And intentional.
Being intentional, yeah. So if you're just strumming a guitar and you're going,
that's not what I was doing.
No, I didn't say Mary was playing like this. But this kind of drifts into a little bit different conversation for a second. But when I have a lot of students who have electric drums, and you could sit down an electric drum kit, put your headphones on, and you can select all these different sounds that are in. You can put all this huge concert reverb on them. It sounds like you're playing Madison Square Garden, right? Just like big, huge, just lots of natural delay and reverb. And and you can turn it up loud. But when you're actually physically playing the drums, if you're just going, you're like barely any movement. It's like the movement that you make is not matching the sound that you're hearing.
Yeah.
And so I think it's really important
misleading.
if you're playing electric drums to try to have in your ears match the sound of what you're physically putting into the instrument, so that if you are playing really timid and quiet, it should sound like you're playing timid and quiet in your ears. And if it sounds loud in your ears, then it should match how forceful that you're playing the drums.
So
because most everybody who takes drum lessons from me who has digital drums, when they come play on real drums, they're not used to that sound.
The response is different.
Yeah, it's the totally different response. It doesn't mean that you can't do both, but it is different. It's just no way around it. As great as digital drums are now, they're still never going to be the same thing. You're not moving air.
So Brian Levin said, I always tell my students that sitting at the kit should always be comfortable and natural. Start with seat height, then the bass drum, then fill in the snare and hi-hat. Make sure the voices of the instrument you use the most are very easy to play and sit up straight indeed.
Yeah.
And then did you already read Joff's?
I've
based my drum setup after yours.
Yeah, I talked about Flyhead from Flight of Void.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, I did see that.
Did James's?
Brian's is the one that I missed.
No, that's okay. I think we're all caught up.
Yeah.
And Joff says, of course, I'm a baby drummer still trying to figure out the drums. Yeah. It's all human movement. Yeah.
So I was...
yeah, I mean, geez, of course, like you set it up as you're learning, like you'll realize, oh, this is, you know what, if I just move this over this way, or if I just angle this way, that is so much more comfortable. It's definitely an evolution, right? So don't feel like just because you set it up a certain way that you're married to that. Like you can change things.
Well, over time, I get sometimes a little bit bored with my setup, and I might move something a little bit. Now, Mary could walk in the room and look at my drum. She'd be like, I don't see any difference whatsoever. But maybe it was a slight change in a cymbal. Like it's not here anymore. Now it's here. And to us drummers, those changes are a big deal. Where they're just something not quite there. It's we just kind of get used to how things are, and that muscle memory of when you move. For example, I just sold my 18-inch Peisty Rude China because I'm switching to all Sabian cymbals now, and I sold that, and then I found the China that I wanted, and I ordered it. Well, now I'm having rehearsal with Midline where I use that China all the time, and I found myself several times last night going to hit it, and there's because your arms and everything get used to moving to a certain
muscle
place
memory,
with the songs that you're playing, and there's a groove to it too, in the way that you move and all of those things, and it not being there was kind of a distraction. Not a distraction where it was like, oh, I can't play at all. There's no, well, guys, I can't practice. I don't have this one cymbal. I can still practice. But Rob Ridgway is here. Good morning, Rob.
Hello, Rob.
Our favorite Rob.
And since he's
here, how's my guitar doing?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity to talk about 12th fret music again. We need to go down and
yes, do our little
visit the drum stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you are just joining us, the Drummergy podcast is sponsored by 12th Fret Music in downtown Boise.
Yes.
Yes. And the address is
671 South Capitol Boulevard. As you can see at the entrance to 12th Fret Music in big numbers, 671. 671.
671. Look at that. Yamaha. Paul Reed Smith.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of good stuff. And then, and if you are a guitar enthusiast, he does have a couple special rooms that have fancy guitars and old vintage and very expensive guitars.
Whoa.
So you got to make sure you go very carefully, walk into that room and check those out.
Whoa. Yeah.
See, we should make a trip down there this morning.
Should we?
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Do we have time?
Very little. We'd be cutting it close.
Would
Maybe.
we?
Well, what time does 12th Fret Music open? As you can see, the
Yeah.
12thfretmusic.com ticker, that's always at the bottom of the screen.
What time do you open, Rob?
Well, look it up. Google. Come on, producer. What are you doing?
I've got the owner of the store in the
I know.
in the chat,
What is Rob Ridgway, the producer of the show now? Rob, do your own Google search and let us know what time you open today.
I don't think he needs to Google search his hours, Fred.
I'm going to guess 11.
It says they open at 11.
Aha. Yeah. Because musicians' tails aren't bushy till 11, apparently.
That's right. Oh, gosh. I remember.
Oh, boy.
I remember calling, I think it was Guitar Center years and years ago, like closer to when they first opened.
Yes.
And I was trying to find out what time they opened the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, we don't open till such and such. I'm like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. Thinking, I have to be. And I'm, as a church musician, if you need something early in the morning, like you need something early in the morning, he's like, yeah, it was like 11 o'clock. He's like, we're out gigging all night. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah. But
well, some of us gig in the morning.
Going back to the drum setup, when I first started drumming, I just copied what my drum teachers did. Kind of like what my students do. They copy what I did. But over time, as I played more, and especially when I started playing shows, and this is one thing, like my 16-inch, I have two floor toms, a 14 and a 16. My 16 is probably closer to me than I would like. But over the years, I've gotten used to it being in that position. The only reason for that is my drum kit's really wide, and I had to make it fit on a drum riser that was only 8 feet across, where realistically I probably need 8.5 to 9 feet. Just that extra little space, which that's kind of a ridiculous request as far as standard staging goes, to have that extra little bit. So I brought that tom in just a little bit closer, and there I go. But I still don't have any weirdness playing that, and I know right where it is. So, but the evolution of how your drums are put together. One question I have is, what makes you cringe when you see drums? What makes you cringe when you see a drum set put together? Now,
well,
that's
we
a whole
already kind of touched on that at the beginning, but yeah,
that's a whole can of worms, right? Where I've noticed this with what I've seen this happen because I mentioned James doing his drum videos, and for the most part, you see people supporting or agreeing with drummers and what they're doing and how things are put together. But there's always the one pebble in the shoe person, right? They gotta cause some kind of strife.
I think what makes me cringe is when I see the toms like almost at a 90-degree angle. They're like,
yeah,
and so then I'm thinking
they're not
about
wall art.
It's it's not even to me that it like looks unattractive. It's like I having played the drums, I feel what, like, my insides feel what it must feel like to play that.
Yeah.
And that's what makes me cringe. It's like, you've got to like cock your wrists and like lean forward in a weird way that, like, yeah, you're going to end up with, if you're playing a lot and you're playing on that setup, you're going to hurt yourself after a while.
Yeah. Yeah. It's but most of these, let's call them drum critics.
Oh.
Want to keep this show family friendly.
Wow.
Usually when you see somebody demonstrating how to do something and the critics come to surface, you kind of look at them and you, just out of curiosity, sometimes you go to click on their page. Okay, well, if this guy's such an expert, what's he got going on? Zero. Nothing.
He's a bot.
He's got nothing going on. It's
I mean, I have to wonder if they're even real people.
Well, yeah, that crosses my mind too. But sometimes they are real people, and sometimes you find like, oh, maybe they play drums in a local bar band or whatever, and you look at how their drum kit's put together, and it's just how we're saying right now, where it's like looks super uncomfortable to play. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And they,
and I think anything that causes you to play with like stiffness and like tightness.
Yeah, where I said where like everybody wants to be like so close to the instrument and so on top of it that they're just compressing themselves into a little bubble to try to play drums.
Yeah.
And it's way more comfortable just to naturally just move.
Well, your kit should fit you.
Do you go swimming like this? Or do you swim like this?
Wow. Now, oh, wow.
You like those moves?
No.
I could swim right over to you. Swim right over
gosh. Oh my gosh, Fred.
So, yeah. Right? And it goes back to how Joff was talking about the motion that he has in his combat moves.
Well, your drum set should fit you too, as a human. So like, you don't have your little like 9-year-olds playing at the big kit. They're playing at the kit.
That's got 3 appropriate for their size.
Yeah, we've got 3 different drum kits in this room when he's teaching lessons, and there's the small little kid size.
Yep.
There's the youth size, and then there's the full size kit.
Yeah.
And you're not going to put one of the kids on this drum where they can barely touch the kick pedal.
Right.
And this, because if they lower the stool, then the snare's too high, things like that. Oh, now I can't reach the toms. Or so, in order to make the current setup work, they're sitting on the very edge of it and like, look like they're going to fall at any point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then you got the guys that are they're trying to lean forward to get these
when you go to play the digga-digga-digga-diggas.
To play the digga-diggas, and they're at this weird angle, and then they have to lean forward and put themselves in this weird position.
Yeah.
To do that, it's like just
yeah.
Those are the things that make me cringe.
Yeah. Yeah. But do you have an opinion on that because of me? Did I drive that opinion? Would you think that if you didn't have this association? Because I
probably wouldn't have thought about it at all.
I would guess the audience doesn't give a rip about how you put your drums together.
Well, no, like having played drums, so when I was learning to play drums and I had to drag that nasty set down.
Oh yeah.
And I would forget. I'm like, okay, I know that the kick drum, I know it's like this. And then I would try to play it. I'm like, this isn't right. And so then I'd be like constantly adjusting. I'm like, this isn't right. And I would know something was wrong, but I couldn't quite figure out how to fix it sometimes. Yeah. And then you'd be like, oh, and then you just move I was like, oh gosh, okay, that's so much better. But that I would say my opinion or whatever would come from actually having played them.
Sure. Yeah.
Because honestly, like if I just saw some, I'd probably notice like when it's just completely off. Like when we see those Facebook posts are like, oh, drum set for sale. And it's clearly like, somebody's selling their kid's drum kit that's been sitting in in some bedroom for the last 10 years. Yeah. And they just pull it out and just line it up in a line.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like how anybody would play it. It's like, that's not right.
Well, to springboard off of that is, I think for most of us that are currently participating in this discussion, is when you see drums put together, you immediately imagine yourself sitting at those and playing them. And if you imagined yourself sitting at those and playing them and going, yeah, I could do that, there must be something right. If you look at them, you went, oh, you're already planning in your mind, oh, I got to move this and move this and move this. Like James had mentioned earlier, like when you see drums for sale on Facebook Marketplace and other platforms like that, you're like, this thing looks like it fell out of an airplane and landed on the driveway, and there's your setup, right? It's like,
clearly they're not trying to set it up like a drummer would play it. They're just putting it on display.
Yeah. But when I did, it's been a few months ago where I did a show like, can you tell how good a drummer's going to be by how they put their drums together?
Yeah.
And I asked Trey Bledsoe when he was on the show if he thought the same thing. And he's like, yeah, if I walk into a club or arena or whatever and I see the way the drums are put together, and he'd be like, "Oh, this guy's going to be cool. This guy's going to be."
But then he
And
could be not very good.
well, yes, but I think when you see a pro setup, what I would consider a pro setup, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, I could play that drum kit," or you just know that the drummer's going to have some kind of thing visual to offer.
But you could also have like some incredible drummer come in and there's like this crazy setup and he could do just fine on it. It may
Yeah,
not be his preference, but so James says what we all should know is that one size doesn't fit all. Lots of
correct.
drummers think it does, and you're wrong for not doing it things their way.
Yep.
To me, I always say what's right is what um, makes you able to play it properly without being injured.
Yeah.
And to draw the best sound out of it. But to me, that's what right would be.
Yeah. See, James also said we also tend to copy the setups of our favorite drummers, and that is true too. Especially when I was younger, because being such a huge Rush fan.
Well, yeah, or Tommy Lee or whatever. You're like, oh, well, that's the way he does it, so I should set up like his.
Yeah, exactly. So
because I'll sound like him.
We tend to imitate or emulate our favorite drummers as we get started, and we've had this discussion with James many times about signature drumsticks when a drummer has a specific stick that they want, and then you have a worldwide audience of people who want that drumstick because so and so made it, or that's their stick of choice. And that's how we end up buying different brands of cymbals or drums or whatever, is largely based on who we're influenced by. And so my students, because of what I play, buy a lot of Vader drumsticks and Aquarian drum heads, and my cymbal choices, they'll tend to lean towards those too. And just that influence that you have on people, they're like, well, if it's working for this person and I like that person and respect that person, then I'm going to get the things that they have.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to set it up similar to how they have. And then that's a good starting point, I think, is to be able to do that. And then as you become more of your own drummer, your own artistic license comes into play, then stuff can kind of morph around a little bit. When I see pictures of James's drum kit in his videos, I could imagine me sitting at James's drums and playing them easily. Even if it's not exactly how I would put it together. But it's another pro drummer who's put stuff together in a logical way that would make sense to me.
Sure.
And I didn't put my drums together at all based on how James puts his together.
I noticed you and Jeff have a very similar setup.
Pulley?
Yeah.
Do we?
Yeah.
Well, we're both rad.
I mean, the difference is he doesn't have the two little tiny toms. He's got like his Roland.
Yeah, his cymbals are considerably lower than mine too, but he does have flat toms, which, and Jeff knows what's up.
Yeah,
he knows what's up.
I mean, I could sit behind his kit and not feel too different from yours.
Yeah. Because Jeff has considered all the things that we've talked about so far today, including cannolis.
Oh.
One thing I have people surface every once in a while and tell me I need to have 2 bass drums. No, I don't.
2 pedals are a lot easier to carry than 2 drums.
Yes, having a double kick pedal. I don't play a lot of double bass anymore. I did when I was younger, and I used to have 2 bass drums. And there was a trend also to go to 1 bass drum and have a double kick pedal, and I liked the look of that and fell in love with that look, and I've stayed with that look since probably the mid to late 90s is when I switched over to 1 bass drum. And then over the last couple of years, a few times playing with Cliff Miller, I've added a 2nd bass drum, but it's further to the right. It's a big, huge, old marching bass drum, and it has a very specific sound. And I have have a double pedal hooked up to that to be able to reach it. And I like the look of that too. And it's fun to have that other little texture to play, but it's not something I would do regularly, especially considering the places that I play. There's no room to have another 3 feet of space on the right side of me. I already talked about pulling my floor tom in closer. So, uh, but then you get the critics of like, some drummers like the look of 2 bass drums, but that one is just there for show, and they have the double kick pedal hooked up to it. And then some people still play 2 bass drums. I don't care. Like, whatever's cool for them is cool for me. It's there's a drummer named Darrow Jones, I think. I meant to have a picture of his drum set and I didn't. But his drums are tilted away from him. So he sits up kind of high, and it's almost like if you were going to play a cajon. The audience can see the batter head. Have you seen this before, Mary? It's Daru, I think is his first name. Darrow or
I don't
think
so.
Anyway, everything is tilted away from him, and he sits up and he's the only person I've ever seen play that way. And he's a great drummer, but it's so abstract looking and bizarre that you get all the internet experts coming out like, that's the wrong way to put a drum set together. Oh, this is a good question. Joff is asking, hypothetically, if you are now the new drummer of Metallica, would you roll with 2 bass drums?
Oh.
I would.
Whoa. What was the question?
Why are you wowing me?
Hold on before.
He says if you
are now the new drummer. Well, if you were the new drummer of Metallica, you wouldn't be lifting 2 bass drums. Your tech would. So it wouldn't matter.
And the current Metallica tour, Lars has 4 drum kits.
Oh, wow.
At different parts of the stage. So that's a
lot of bass drums.
That's 8 bass drums. It's everything that's copied 4 times. Exactly the same. I don't know. I don't know for sure. Maybe if you're going to stay with the same look and history of the band, probably would keep 2 bass drums. But then at the same time, anytime somebody gets replaced in a band, there's all the critics come out to let you know how wrong you are. Like Rush is now touring with Annika Niles playing, and I think all the haters that originally started kind of are eating crow now because she's doing such a great job. And I had this discussion with one of my students too. Like if she played everything exactly how Neil played, and it with the exact same feel as Neil, to where if you closed your eyes, you couldn't tell if it was Neil or Annika, people would still criticize her. Well, it's not Neil. No kidding. It's not Neil. Let the girl play the drum parts to the best of her abilities that honors the song still, and back off. I think it's so cool to see Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson out there. So, yeah, none of us are exactly the same as the next person. Nobody. And, another drummer could come in and play midline songs. They're not, earth-shattering drum parts, but they're drum parts for the songs that work. And somebody else could come and play those songs and replicate those songs, and it still sound like midline. And I don't think people are going to be like, well, it's not Fred. Well, maybe I might be on their side with that.
Oh, boy.
We got away from how to put drums together. But
Ergonomics.
Okay,
so talk about hands.
Okay. I got them.
Because I don't know that this is an ergonomics problem, but like my hands just hurt all the time, especially that like fatty part of your hand that like your thumb goes into, that
this
space.
part.
And so, yeah. And so when I hold the drumsticks, I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm holding them. I don't feel like I'm holding them wrong, and I'm not squeezing them. I'm not holding them tight, but my hands will cramp in that space, like just inside that fatty part. They'll cramp really bad, and so I have a hard time. I can't really play anymore because of that, because it just hurts so bad.
Well, I don't have an answer for you as far as that goes, because it's not like you're a drummer normally, and like now you have this pain because of drumming.
Yeah.
I really think that people overthink how to hold a drumstick, because if, let's just say you were cleaning the house.
Well, there's going to be a difference between playing in drum corps on a snare versus playing,
of course,
rock drums.
I'm just generally speaking, if you didn't play drums and you had to pick up a pair of sticks because they were in the way and move them to another room, and you just reached out and grabbed one, you would probably be picking up the drumstick correctly. But as soon as you're thinking like, oh, I don't have enough. I got a little pair of kids' drumsticks right here. It's a little baby one. Yeah. But I think if this was just, just sitting on a counter and you're like, oh, I need to move that drumstick, and you just grabbed it like that and carried it and set it on the other table, you'd probably be picking up the drumstick correctly. Just like if you picked up a hammer, right? And you're gonna pick up a hammer and use that. You don't go, oh, I need to have a very specific technique for swinging a hammer. You just pick it up. But I think we get in our head a little bit about like, am I holding the drumsticks right? And so usually if I have a new student that's never played drums before, if they're just being chill, they'll almost always be holding the sticks like this. They'll just naturally grab them like that. But if they've pictured in their mind what they've seen on the internet or whatever, they'll be like, oh, and they'll be like this. Like double traditional grip.
A double traditional. Yeah.
Or maybe it's backwards, or they hold the sticks and they'll be like this. Like, what are you playing? The ceiling? They kind of get in their head about that. And so I don't even, unless it's so far out there, I don't even talk about how to hold the sticks or technique in the first lesson. I just want them to be, they're just trying to get comfortable being here with a total stranger and doing something new. And I don't want to overwhelm their thought process with like, oh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing this wrong. I'm doing this wrong. I just want them to have fun and enjoy it and come back and start to relax. And then that's when we can, as the weeks go, we can make some changes to how they're doing that. But if they don't fill their mind up with something beforehand, they usually just grab the sticks pretty naturally. And that's how you want to get your drum set up, is in a natural way. Oh boy, here comes the hate. Here comes the hate. There's absolutely nothing this is from James. So let's put this up.
The hate.
There's absolutely nothing that makes ergonomic sense about the modern marching snare and traditional grip. Tilted, yes. Flat, no. Match grip makes the most sense, but it is usually considered not as difficult or cool. Yeah. Yep.
No ergonomics in
ergonomics. Now we're just going to call it that forever.
Ergonomics with marching snare.
Now, James, I think
that's true. I mean, if I try to pick up a stick and hold it, I can't even figure out how to hold it traditional grip. And then how to make it work. Whereas like the right hand will just go just fine. The left hand's going, what do I do?
Have you seen that video where it was sort of making fun of traditional grip? It was like, if traditional grip was used in like other things, and the guy's trying to cut a cucumber and he's holding the knife in like a traditional grip manner. It's like, this is so dumb. There's this conversation is going to be exactly everything that James knows too, was like, I might be wrong, but I think the only reason traditional grip exists was a way around carrying a drum over your shoulder, and that drum was at an angle, and that just this change in how they're holding the stick made it possible to play the drum. Now, I don't really know anything about drumming.
If you go back to the Stone Age when drums were first
made, it was traditional grip
on gourds and stuff, it was match grip.
Yeah. So
because they weren't holding sticks. Can you imagine they're like flopping their left hand around instead of just like hitting it with the bottoms of their hands?
right, exactly. So my only hang up with traditional grip is for drummers who want to be in drum corps like DCI or WGI, and they have a love for that, and that's where they want to go. James already knows all this, but maybe the people watching it. I think a lot of people aren't taught traditional grip because it's too hard. Like I don't like making up people's minds for them that something's going to be too hard. Like it's impossible to do. So I know a lot, at least in our area, a lot of instructors completely dismiss it and ignore it and won't teach it. Now, again, when you're talking about high school kids, you're talking about a pretty drastically wild difference in abilities between freshmen and seniors, and then in that too is like how devoted our students into learning that. I mean,
Well,
we get really, really, really into the weeds about that.
But how many band directors are actual percussionists and know how to hold
very few
and play traditional grip? So
very
yeah,
few.
They're not going to try and teach that because if they don't know how to do it themselves,
they're clarinet or trombone players typically,
or trumpet. Yeah,
they're usually one of those. But yeah, I like teaching traditional grip to play a drum set. Like, why would you do that? Other than any marching snare thing where that's the requirement is to play traditional grip, I don't really see. I don't play traditional grip typically. Sometimes I do it out of boredom, like just out of a curiosity thing when I'm playing, especially a cover gig and you're playing for 3 hours. It's like, oh, I know these songs well enough. I could risk trying to play traditional grip and see if I can move around.
uh-huh.
I'll quickly notice how weak my left hand is.
Yeah, see if I can hold on to this thing without dropping it.
Yeah, and typically if I lean into that a little bit, I'll raise my snare drum up higher because I can't get the force because my hand's going too far down for traditional grip. So at any rate, but then you got your Todd Zuckermans that play traditional grip and fantastic. And I think I did mention last week the drummer for Tom Kiefer's band, Tom Kiefer from Cinderella. It was like he was an amazing drummer, sounded so good, but he's playing these bluesy hard rock songs with traditional grip. It just like the picture didn't match the sound as far as I was concerned. I was like, man, I just want to see somebody back there framing a house. That's what I was hoping for. That was what I was hoping for. Well, I don't know if we really answered any questions.
Well, do anybody have any questions? Yeah.
Seems like for the most part, we're all leaning and agreeing to the same things about, it's
set it up so it works for your body.
Yep.
And make sure you're not hurting yourself and you're putting yourself in some weird contorted position.
Yeah.
Because that's not sustainable.
Because like James had mentioned, a lot of drummer injuries come from, maybe your low back.
Yeah.
Could be your seat height, could be the style of seat that you have.
Well, and don't you kind of bounce a litlittle bit when you play?
Me?
Well, in general, don't drummers kind of have a bounce?
I do. I probably,
because when you're lifting your leg up and then hitting the pedal down, I would think that that's kind of making your body have an opposite reaction as that's happening. So you're kind of bouncing up and down, not like super obvious, but it's got to be enough. So you want to make sure that you're sitting or that your gear is good enough so that you're not just hammering your tailbone into a hard stool.
I'm always amazed by drummers who spend a lot of money on drums and cymbals and then they skimp on the throne.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing you're sitting on for endless hours.
3 hours plus all your practicing.
And you might as well invest some real money into how comfortable your butt is. You really should.
Yeah.
Really should. Don't overlook that. The importance of that.
Yeah.
You're sitting on a drum stool that's too small and the seat's too small. You're going to be really uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
And that I think that's probably where most of it starts, is just the chair that you're sitting in, being comfortable.
Yeah.
James says, not saying it's not necessary or valid in regards to traditional grip. Just saying on a flat surface, it doesn't make as much sense. Players, students can rise to the occasion. As they say, you can steer a car with your feet, but that doesn't make it a good idea.
Right. Oh, geez, talk about cringing. When I see somebody, like videos of somebody driving, and their hands are like talking with them, but their knee is up, and their knee is what's driving and steering the car. I'm like, oh. It's like, okay, I'll see people doing that like on the interstate or whatever, but it's like driving around town, man, please have your hands on the wheel. Oh my God.
James says he's going to be trying out a new spine-friendly throne from Tempo soon.
Oh.
Excited to try it.
Tempo. Let's look it up.
Look it up, producer. See if you can put it in the old
Tempo drum stool.
In the old comments there. I've been really liking my Spinal Glide by Ahead.
I see
drum
that
throne.
One.
That is, I mentioned earlier, I have 0 injuries from drumming. 0. But I do have a low back issue from being stupid trying to move a trailer one time that was too heavy. And when I yanked on the trailer, I felt something in my low back go kook. And ever since then, I've had little problems off and on with my low back, and using that Spinal Glide throne has really saved my spine drumming.
Well, now here's something interesting. Okay, so I'm in the Tempo gear.
Mm-hmm.
How to choose a drum stool for maximum comfort and performance.
Whoa.
So there's a whole, I'll put this in the chat, but
cool.
Where is that? Oops, where was I? Okay.
Tempogear.com, blogs, news, how to choose a drum stool for maximum comfort and performance.
This says, drumming is a physical workout. You might not notice it at first, but over time, how and where you sit becomes critical.
Yeah.
An ergonomic drum stool ensures your hips are at the right angle, keeping your spine in a neutral position. That translates to more control, more endurance, and less tension in your shoulders and lower back. Comfortable cushioning reduces pressure on your tailbone, while a sturdy base prevents wobbling mid-performance. Oh, I couldn't imagine sitting there playing and you've got like the teetering stool like in a restaurant. The ability to adjust the height helps you customize your throne based on your leg length, foot pedal positioning, and playing style. In other words, your drum throne isn't just a piece of furniture. Whoa. It's performance gear. And just like you wouldn't settle for a cheap snare or a flimsy pedal, you shouldn't cut corners on your seat either. We just said all of that.
Yep. Yeah. Don't skimp on where you're going to be sitting that much for that long. It's just dumb. James says Tempo Music Limited or Tempo Music TD. I've posted several snares from them. I'll be doing the Nashville Drum Show with them. James, I think you've done a couple other shows working the Tempo booth, I think. Maybe this is the start of a new career for James Harrison. Ooh. That could be cool. That could be really cool. Well, do you have anything else you'd like to add, Miss Producer?
No, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think we covered it as well. I think for me, you know, if you, I mentioned a couple times already, like if the drums are super close to you and you're cramping to play, you could probably still play, but I don't know how sustainable that is without feeling like, and just like you said a moment ago, this is a really physical instrument that we're playing. Even if you're just playing light jazz or something, it's a physical instrument, and you want to be comfortable while you're doing that. When I talk to some other drummers and they get done playing a gig, it could even be like a 20-minute opening spot for somebody, up to somebody that's playing, 3 45-minute shows or sets, and they get done and they're like, I'm so exhausted. I'm like,
You've been sitting. Oh,
yeah, exactly. Been just a drum potato, right? Instead of a couch potato. Dave Goff is here.
Dave Goff.
Dave Goff, this whole discussion was based off of your suggestion. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was my suggestion.
It was after our talk with Dave, and he was talking about the importance of how you put your drums together.
All right, whatever.
Remember? He was talking about his wrist hurting from his bike
accident.
Oh,
yeah.
See?
But you said, what should I talk about? And I said, you should talk about ergonomics.
Yes. Now I forgot what I was saying completely.
Well, you just were saying hi to Dave.
Oh, when people get done playing gigs and they talk about how tired they are, I'm like, I don't feel that way when I get done playing a gig. Like, I'm so exhausted. I work so hard.
Wow.
Because I'm not cramped or anything when I play. Just moving easy. Unless it's, 2:00 in the morning, then just naturally
you'll be sweaty and out of breath.
You used to like it when I was sweaty and out of breath. The good old days when you didn't care.
When I was 24.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago.
Stop it.
Reality check.
Mary and I are creeping up on our 30th anniversary, as you could probably tell by our banter. And we're hoping, I think it's pretty
well, if we don't
feasible.
If we don't keep having things go wrong, like puncturing tires and stuff that ruin it for us, we're hoping to take a trip to Nashville for.
We're going to go to Nashville for
4 days or something.
Yep, it's going to be
cool. Do the Nashville thing. That
going to be very cool. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Next week, I will have back on the show touring drummer Tanner Abney, who was on the show.
It was last spring.
Yeah. And I told Tanner when he was here, because his career was really starting to develop in the amount of touring and stuff that he's done. And that guy is like on tour nonstop. He is out there playing more shows than he has days off. And oh my gosh, James just said, Fred, if you play barefoot, you won't have a pebble in your shoe.
Ooh.
Ding ding. The shoes make their way into another episode.
Yep.
So anyway, when Tanner was here, we said, let's do a recap of Tanner's career in like the next year or so. And here we are. And he's going to be in town because I think that he actually moved to Nashville not long ago. But he will be back in Boise, and we're going to hang out next week, and we're going to get caught up on his career and how all of that stuff has developed, and just get an update.
Yeah, I just saw pictures that he was playing in New York City.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Outside gig in New York City. Pretty cool.
Awesome. So when I hear people talk about they can't make it in music,
he's doing it.
He's doing it. He's one of the guys that are out there doing it, and he's relentless in his. I
don't think he's like door dashing while he's out on the road. I don't think he's.
When would you have time?
Unless he's got like some crazy he's online DoorDash. Unless he's got like some crazy online store that's just blowing up, and he's like making a ton of money. But
but we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. All right. We will catch you guys next week on the Drummergy podcast. Have a great week. Bye.